Live from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Palou gets the jump. Kirkwood looking to challenge on the outside.
Nice clean start, but Kyle Kirkwood going big, deep into turn 2. Can he hold it side by side, that pink and black machine to the front?
That's what I was talking about. Jam up Alex Palou. Kirkwood getting it done as Colton Herta and Alexander Rossi go side by side, and that is Scott McLaughlin in the red-white car off in the dirt early at the exit of turn 3.
Great move from Kirkwood, leading early here. You see Rossi there in the orange and white machine, side by side. There's Marcus Armstrong in that green Ridgeline machine for Chip Ganassi Racing, making a move. All single file here through turn 6, or not.
And Kevin, we've defined the data so far. This is the first race in 4 that we've made it through the first corner of the first lap, but we're not done with the first lap yet. Ferrucci was side by side at the top of the hill.
Let's hang on until we get all the way through. This is the famous corkscrew right here. Christian Rasmussen in that light blue and black car picking up a spot there.
Linus Lundqvist got past going into turn 6. It threw him off. He lost a few more spots up the hill. Still recovering right now as we make it out of turn 11 and across the line for the first lap of this race. All green, all 27 cars on track.
And it's Kyle Kirkwood, the early leader. He went around the outside to get past Alex Palou, who has been on the podium in all 3 of his starts here with a win. There's Marcus Ericsson, Indy 500 winner in the Delaware Life car, going to the inside for a spot.
Defending against Christian Rasmussen, a tire difference on those 2 cars. Ericsson on that black sidewalled Firestone, a little bit harder compound, a little bit slower, but should last longer. Conversely, you see Christian Rasmussen behind him on that red, softer sidewall tire as we see him move down the inside. I think that's Graham Rahal into 5.
Yeah, that's the black and gold debut for the Mobil 1 car with Graham Rahal. He's side by side with Rinus VeeKay, who throws him some shade into turn 6. And now VeeKay charging on Linus Lundqvist. On board here with Rahal. That's Lundqvist and VeeKay up ahead.
Push to pass now active on the second lap of this race. 150 seconds of push to pass available for these drivers. Gives you about a 50 horsepower boost to try to make some passes, maybe defend against it. And here's the defense right now. Ericsson on Rasmussen.
Rasmussen really wants to take advantage of the softer compound tire early. He gets a pretty decent exit here. I think he's going to have a go at Marcus Ericsson when they get to the brake zone. Armstrong. Grosjean side by side.
Again, that tire advantage on the green, number 11 of Armstrong. As we see Rasmussen getting Ericsson, getting forceful, pushing him off there.
They've gone back and forth a couple of times already. One of the leaders, Alexander Rossi, who's been running 4th. Dylan, is coming to you.
Yeah, best qualifying effort on a road course for him this weekend. Started 4th. They started on the Firestone primary tires. They will go to a set of sticker Firestone alternates here and make a front wing change. Just a little bit too much understeer. The report for Rossi, you see that there. Full of shell fuel, and the 7's down in the way.
Decent stop, 7.3 seconds. That's 18.5 gallons of shell fuel that goes into these Indy cars on a full fuel fill.
That last lap for Kyle Kirkwood, that 111.0. Where was McLaughlin? He did a 109.9, so a full second faster. It's not going to be many more laps before McLaughlin is going to be able to close the gap.
Can you hang on? Yeah, all good.
And that was right after Kyle came on the radio and said the left front is falling apart. So it's not ideal behind the wheel of the 27, but they're trying to make it last for their fuel number.
It's not ideal, but he doesn't sound panicked either, does he? I mean, hey, no, all good. We can do this.
I know, but I'm watching the 3 on the tracker, James. He's got clean air behind Kyle Kirkwood, and now Felix Rosenqvist diving in from 3rd place.
So this will be key to see how this one goes. About 30 to 32 seconds lost on pit lane with a full fuel fill. So that's the number you got to add up. Distance to the leaders to see where you're going to come out onto the racetrack.
So it might be tight. Let's keep an eye on McLaughlin, especially when Kirkwood comes in. Here is McLaughlin.
He's behind Alexander Rossi, who's wicked fast. So McLaughlin, let's watch this lap time as he crosses the timing line. Last lap a 109.9. This lap a 109.1. He is chewing big time into Kirkwood's pace and Palou. If he can keep this up, as Rosenqvist, I think, comes out of the pits there. So McLaughlin has closed the gap pretty nice.
That's big for Rossi too, though, because he got out in front of McLaughlin.
So you got to think Rosenquist pit from 3rd, McLaughlin pit from 8th after their first pit stop. They are nose to tail, so that's a huge gain in track position for Scott McLaughlin.
I just wonder, is it a mistake that Kirkwood stayed out this long as both Kirkwood, his teammate Herta, and Christian Lundgaard all come to the box? The blend will be fascinating to see what was better.
Let's start with Georgia.
Yeah, Christian Lundgaard, he finished 6th here last year. He started 6th here this year. I asked him earlier today, are you confident and comfortable? He said always. They went from Firestone black tires to Firestone reds. It was a quick stop for the Hy-Vee Honda 45 team. Dylan.
Kyle Kirkwood there at the bottom of the screen went to sticker alternate tires. He'll beat Colton Herta out, but we'll watch the blend here when they come back, and Palou did the overcut. He stayed out a lap later here. They are telling him to push hard, use a lot of overtake on this lap to try to make up some of the gap.
There goes Alexander Rossi. It's going to be tight. Rossi is in front.
How about that? Gets ahead of Kyle Kirkwood, Colton Herta, and Felix Rosenquist. Lundgaard slotting in between Rosenquist and this man, Scott McLaughlin. But no surprise, the drivers that stayed out, the Ganassi duo, the 10 and the 9, Palou and Dixon, so good at saving fuel. This overcut strategy might work out just well for those two, but so far the undercut, pitting early, is what worked for both McLaughlin and Rossi.
Beautiful stuff for Rossi. McLaughlin now desperate to try to attack as those lead cars are on cold tires.
And the lead trio is in the pits. Palou, Dixon, Grosjean. As we watch this battle sort itself out. Oh, inside goes Scott McLaughlin. Georgia, what's happening in pit lane? Is Lundgaard's off?
Yeah, Romain Grosjean came to pit lane. He told me earlier today he doesn't think he's going to have to be that aggressive today. He just has to be smart along with the team. He was frustrated yesterday, but he knew their pace was good. He's got those Firestone blacks on.
Lundgaard off at the exit of 9, and now that styrofoam sign is stuck to his right front main
You got
plane.
your free on the nose.
That is a
Part of the
massive downforce delete for Lundgaard. It's going to be tough, even right here on the brakes.
Meanwhile, Rossi pitting early. He has taken over the lead by a couple of seconds on Kyle Kirkwood. Alex Palou staying out an extra lap, lost precious time in the pits. He's fallen back to 7th. Alexander Rossi, after the first sequence, pitted earlier, found some clean track, fresh Firestones. He's moved to the front. Alex Palou exited pit lane after his stop later than everyone else from the lead in 2nd, but on his outlaps on cold Firestones, gave up a couple of spots.
And the big question is, why did Alex Palou decide to go another stint on black tires? You can see him struggling here as Kyle Kirkwood easily carves him up on the inside of turn 2. James, I'm scratching my head on that one.
Well, hey, look, we talked to the Ganassi team before this race. They thought it was going to be a black race. They're just sticking to their guns on that one, even though we've seen a lot of evidence to the contrary.
It's fine to think it's going to be a black race, but when the red shod tire cars go longer, it's pretty obvious that the red tire is going to hang in there. You know it's got the pace advantage.
They probably thought they had so much pace in the pocket running behind Kirkwood. They were hoping the overcut was going to get them out in front in that clean air, and then they could really unleash the potential of that car. But now mixing it up in traffic, in dirty air, it's definitely going to be advantage to the Reds.
Kevin, if Palou thought it was a black tire race, almost certainly he's changing his mind right now as he watches painfully Colton Herta, Kyle Kirkwood, Alexander Rossi pull away.
Well, that's his hope. Everyone else up front is on the softer, faster Firestones, but will it last as long? Here's Christian Lundgaard. We saw him take that run through the dirt, and has that been on there for the last 10 minutes?
It certainly has.
And it all came here from a pass attempt on the inside of 9 from Scott McLaughlin. You're right on board with him. This is not a typical passing opportunity, Townsend.
But that was a good one. He surprised Lundgaard, put his car between Lundgaard and the apex. It was clean, there was no contact, and unfortunately there is no chance for Lundgaard to hang on.
As we see a big crash.
51, Giotto, off heavy. Is that turn 4? It is at the exit. Left rear destroyed, left front, right front. A massive shunt for the rookie from Italy.
We saw a few almost shunts there in practice,
Yeah,
some
I'm
big
okay, I'm
saves.
okay.
Luckily the
Can I jump
driver
out or do I have to wait?
is okay, but let's see the replay here.
Oh, he just got
Lost it early, maybe even dropped a wheel on the entrance curve.
Back at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, they are in the window for the second stop, Dylan.
Alexander Rossi, the race leader, in. They will take a set of breads off, put a set of used Firestone alternates on. Little hiccup leaving, and Rossi nearly stalls again. Herta goes around the outside of him.
There you go, a change for the lead. Colton Herta in the 26 crew getting ahead of the 7. It's a little bit of a holdup.
How you doing, baby? Good job, boys.
And there's Colton on the radio. Good job, boys, getting the work done in pit lane. And now those two, but Colton's on the primaries. He's on the blacks. That's going to still give the advantage to Rossi on this restart.
Why did he go primary? He started on primaries. He
sure
satisfied the requirement.
Not everyone
Confusion
pitted.
reigns.
Palou with a great jump, and Grosjean is trying to take a peek at Pato O'Ward for second coming up the hill.
Going to be tough for Grosjean. He's on those blacks. He's got O'Ward in front on the reds. The grip is going to go to O'Ward, but Grosjean's trying to make it work on the outside. Townsend, I think he got it done.
Black tires versus red tires, and amazingly on a restart, Grosjean making those sticker blacks work as someone's off. Is that Siegel?
I think that was Nolan Siegel, yeah, the number 6.
Exited turn 2.
It's the NTT Data McLaren.
Wonder if he got help or...
He was one of the cars that had not pitted.
Full course yellow. Copy, sorry about that. Really sorry.
Debut for Nolan Siegel with Arrow McLaren, the 19-year-old just announced to finish the season. Next season and more with Arrow McLaren. What happens?
Listen here. Just spins up the rears, and then the right rear falls off.
Let's go again from Laguna Seca. Grosjean's got a little bit of a run.
Alex Palou got a little sideways, exiting 11. Here comes Grosjean, but he's gonna take the conservative path in the brake zone.
Pietro Fittipaldi locking up there side by side with the 41 is Stingray Rob. Rob's got the grip advantage with those reds, but side to side hip check from Fittipaldi pushes him right off. Now Rossi going around in the orange and white McLaren.
I don't think that Pietro Fittipaldi grew up playing ice hockey in Brazil as Palou opens up a big gap on Grosjean.
Rossi in the background trying to make a move on Colton Herta into 4. Didn't make it stick, but you see the gap already that Palou has opened up over Grosjean. He's comfortable out front, and he's going to want to extend this lead. Grosjean, Canapino off.
That was Kiffin Simpson just behind the Argentinian driver, Canapino. Rossi gets through.
All locked up. I think that's Kyle Kirkwood trying to get around Stingray Rob. He makes that happen. Those drivers that pitted trying to cut through this traffic of the cars that didn't. Herta up to P10, Rossi P12. They are essentially, effectively the leaders on that main strategy.
The DHL team awaits on pit lane. They'll have a clean in and a clean out. Dylan.
And they had that gap to Colton Herta at just under 22 seconds when he peeled off onto pit road. So we'll watch the blend. Just need a smooth stop here. First stint of the day on those sticker red tires for Palou. Front wing change to counter that. Shell fuel. He's down and away, and here comes Herta.
So Colton Herta should get in front, but how close will Palou be? There's Herta. There's Rossi.
And Palou's got to be so careful right here not to lock up and slide off into the dirt like what we saw from Newgarden and Fittipaldi. Palou cleanly blends just in front of Kirkwood, but Kyle Kirkwood on hot tires. This will be a great ride right here.
Kyle Kirkwood on hot tires and push to pass, no doubt, coming out of turn 4, trying to line something up for 5. But he's got to be so careful because the cars around Palou, he can't do it. He's got to save so much fuel right now, and that's where the advantage can swing back in Palou's favor.
And isn't it remarkable how quickly the sticker reds come in? Oh, I say that, and Palou just got all kinds of squirrely opportunity for Kirkwood in the corkscrew.
He can't take advantage of it. He couldn't hit the button. He had to lift at the end of the straightaway. There's a big number that's having to be hit by the drivers that pit. And he's got to run here up the hill, Townsend.
Oh, but will Rossi give him the space? He will. Palou charging up the inside, and now Alex Palou can keep that head down and go after Colton Herta.
Nothing out back. 4 seconds to Kyle Kirkwood behind Alex Rossi.
Here's what I'm going to be fascinated with is when do they pit Palou for their final stop? Do they wait till he's low on fuel, or do they pit on the earlier side and protect against the yellow coming out?
So it's only a handful more laps that Colton Herta's got to hang on, hitting that fuel target, but it is a crucial set of laps for the Gamebridge Honda.
Now, meanwhile, Alex Palou knows that he only needs to wait for a high percentage opportunity. Even if it doesn't come, he can make it work on the in-lap, the out-laps. He's got lots of time. He doesn't need to force anything.
He really doesn't. They'll peel off in front of him. He'll have as many clear laps as he wants to try to make the overcut work, but he's got a great run. He's going inside here at the corkscrew, and it's not even a contest. Herta having to back off, and a pass for the lead at the top of the hill. We see the Gamebridge Honda taking to pit lane.
Palou's got to come the next lap.
He doesn't got to do anything.
If he wants to cover. If you want to buy insurance, it's free right now. It's special.
Now that these guys have all made it to pit lane, I agree with you. Dylan, go ahead.
And there was some discussion on the 26 of Colton Herta. Used reds or new blacks. They opted for new blacks as well, trying to get a look at what Rossi went with. Will Power, Scott McLaughlin, everybody in here trying to make their final stop, and we'll see what Palou does.
Tough exit for Alex Rossi. He had to drive around the number 3, lost a little bit of time compared to Colton Herta getting out of pit lane. Bunch of cars now have taken to the pits. Kyle Kirkwood really starting the trend there. And now these all critical out laps as Palou continues to lay down fastest lap after fastest lap, 0.8 of a second over the next fastest car on track last time around.
And Herta is in traffic, so he is not going to have quick out laps. Alex Palou has clean track right now.
He stays out, James, taking a risk. I was selling free insurance, commission free. Not a taker. He's going to send it. So anything that happens shunt-wise on the track right now, advantage Colton Herta.
We ride on board, this Gamebridge on board of Colton Herta, trying to get up to speed there with these sticker primaries. Take a look at some Firestone telemetry to see how much he's having to just tickle the throttle out of these corners, getting the power down. But you heard Barry Wanzer say to Alex Palou, we're running a full stint on these tires. I agree with you. There's no need to do it at this point.
Well, guys, here's the issue. They've only got used tires left. They don't have any stickers, so is that part of the reason? They've got used blacks laid out or used lined up against the wall, so maybe that's part of it.
Well, he's got traffic right now, too, so he's got to be careful if he tries to get by, or careful to just not lose too much time. But Dylan, I think the Reds are probably good enough today to just kind of hang on and take fuel only.
James Hinchcliffe, Townsend Bell with us as well. And Christian Lundgaard with a little hip check, and that is going to send Marcus, was that Marcus Armstrong in the wall?
He just pulled out in front of a car at huge speed. That could have been disastrous.
He said he sent me.
Luckily, I did. Luckily, no contact there, but clearly the engine is dead. A caution is going to come out, and this helps Herta and Rossi tremendously.
And puts Alex Palou on used tires into the clutches.
Rossi on the alternates, Herta on the primaries. We haven't gone yellow yet. I'm not sure if that engine's still running. They're waiting for maybe to see if he can get it going, or they're letting people like Joseph Newgarden get into the pit lane.
He's in a pretty vulnerable position.
He's offline. He's pretty visible, but it looks like they're just allowing the few cars that hadn't pit yet to dive to pit lane.
Yeah, but offline at the exit of like 140-mile-an-hour corner.
Yeah, if someone gets it wrong there, it could go really wrong. But again, it's a yellow flag's out in the corner, so everybody should be approaching it with the appropriate amount of caution.
Yeah, right.
Dylan.
And Joseph Newgarden didn't get in. There's the full course yellow, so he'll be safe to complete this service. Red tires coming off, sticker set of primary tires going on. Final stop of the day here for Newgarden with that front wing change as well.
Time to go again from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
James Herta got all kinds of sideways out of turn 11. Does Rossi take advantage? Here comes Rossi to the outside. He'll have a look, and now he's going to press.
He's going for it. It's not going to work. Smart to back out of it. Now he's got to go defensive against Grosjean into 3, but Rossi on those reds, they're going to be a little bit better for the first couple corners. Herta again sliding out of turn 3, punishing the rear Firestones on that 26.
Kirkwood back there in that pink and white Auto Nation car might have to save a little bit as well, as Scott McLaughlin is coming through, and that's on his teammate, and he's around. Contact with power, and Grosjean has to right the way, or make that McLaughlin has to right the way after the contact.
Crucially kept it running and going up the hill. Self-penalizing there, that move for Scott McLaughlin.
Look at the blocking, the
3
swerving
wide.
as they go into the corkscrew. There's no way that's going to work.
Full air, full send for Christian Lundgaard.
Christian Lundgaard cleared a triple off-road there. That was huge air going downhill. The car's still in one piece as Rasmussen also off at the exit of turn 9. Boy, Christian Lundgaard has had one heck of a day off-roading at Laguna. Oh,
With
motor
McLaughlin,
issue.
that hurts him. And
Jack
this is,
Harvey.
Yeah, Jack Harvey is going to have to pull off.
Right side headers blowing smoke. That's right at pit exit. Pit out.
Getting set to go green with just over 10 remaining. Palou around the final corner. Herta chasing him. He's got to run. Herta going into the Andretti hairpin. Can he go around the outside?
It's the sketchy way to do it, but it doesn't mean he's not going to try. Palou later on the brakes covers it off. You heard the frustration in the voice of Herta on the fuel number that he had to make. Now you see Rossi going on the inside of 3.
Rossi having a look, and Romain Grosjean there for Juncos Hollinger quietly stalking. What does Grosjean have for Alexander Rossi as they exit 4 and make the run to turn 5? Push to pass, looking good for Grosjean. He has 29 seconds left.
Joseph Newgarden is not done. Can think about the podium. That's him in the white and black car chasing the green and black car of Grosjean. Herta has the most push to pass if he has enough fuel to be able to use it.
There in wheel 2.
Newgarden is the best on fuel as you look at the Hitachi on board. He was the last to make his final stop. That also means he has the freshest Firestones.
Grosjean in front of him on that onboard, really struggling with the back of that race car, the 77 wiggling all over. You see the laps since they pit. That's the number of laps they have on these tires. In some cases, these were used tires, so it'd be even higher number than that.
And this guy, the Iceman, just used the push to pass button for good reason. Of the top 7 drivers, nobody has more seconds remaining than Scott Dixon. 63 seconds for Dixon, but does he have the fuel? Because he pitted on the same lap as Kyle Kirkwood and a lap before Colton Herta.
Dixon looking up ahead at Kyle Kirkwood with the PNC Bank on board.
Kirkwood ahead, only 11 seconds of push to pass left. The frustrating part of that last graphic was the fact that Herta's got 55.
Oh, and this will be another yellow. Big front impact. The driver on the right, that's Kiffin Simpson on the left, but somebody square into the concrete as we look at the back of the car, the Mobile 1 of Graham Rahal.
Kiffin Simpson just going a little bit wide, hooking to driver's left, right across the traffic. Rahal nowhere to go. He was so close. He avoided that incident with Armstrong earlier.
Rossi in third, Grosjean, green and black car in fourth. Then it's Newgarden, the Indy 500 winner the last 2 years. Great jump for Alex Palou. Headed down into the Andretti hairpin, which is turn 2 after the kink. Rossi's got to run on Herta.
Late on the brakes for Rossi, but not late enough. Palou learned from his first one. Didn't get the squirrely exit out of 11. Grosjean thought about the outside of Rossi, couldn't make it stick. They're all line astern through turn 3.
How much dirt did Grosjean get on his tires by going wide? Because Joseph Newgarden in the Hitachi car on the charge. It looks like Grosjean's okay. They're single file to turn 5.
Santino Ferrucci taking a look on the inside of Will Power, thinks better of it. That might allow Marcus Ericsson now to get a run up into 6. This is where we saw that marble and dirty racetrack offline. Everybody's still in line now, up to the corkscrew.
Ericsson has had an adventurous day. In 11th right now is a pretty decent recovery for him. Canapino right behind him. Rosenquist was quick, but he's now running in 13th.
Guys, Colton Herta has enough push to pass remaining that he could use about 13, 14 seconds a lap to the finish. But does he have the gas to use it? I'm surprised that he wouldn't have been in the fuel range now with all that yellow.
There's something we have to remember. fuel systems in pit lane are not perfect. Sometimes you don't get everything in the tank as Newgarden looks to size up Grosjean into turn 2. Grosjean goes a little wide, but not enough to open the door for Newgarden. Keeps the position and tries to focus ahead on Alex Rossi in that last spot on the podium.
Oh, squirrely for everybody. You can tell they're dancing on pins and needles to try to nurse their car to the finish on used tires, a lot of dirt and rubber on the racetrack. Scott Dixon starting to draw a little closer here to Kyle Kirkwood.
Palou still in control up front. Hasn't been challenged on pace all day, only on strategy, but it's all come his way. You had the leader on the one strategy in first, the leader on the other strategy in second, so both were very viable. Both will have cars on the podium, but it's looking like it's another one in the bag for Alex Palou with 2 laps to go as he crosses the line.
Meanwhile, from Scott Dixon on back to like Marcus Ericsson, it's looking pretty feisty there. 7th through 11th. A lot of action as Palou leads again across the line. Herta now almost 2 seconds back.
And that solid result for Augustine Canapino is going to go away. Penalty for avoidable contact. Look who's in 13th, 19-year-old Nolan Siegel in his debut with Arrow McLaren. We ride the Delaware Life on board with Marcus Ericsson looking to try to get in the top 10 up ahead at Santino Ferrucci.
What's interesting about where Nolan Siegel runs, inside or 13th there with that spin that he had. Nice comeback, nice recovery for the young driver in his first race here with McLaren.
Kirkwood was so strong, led in the early going.
Oh, car off. Joseph Newgarden again in turn 6, and he might
stuck.
be beached. Guys, with 2 to go, the leader's coming to get the white flag here. If the yellow comes out, that's going to end it.
Oh, he's able to get going, so we'll stay green.
Left some dirt across the racetrack.
Wonder how that happened.
So a top 5 goes away for Joseph Newgarden as Alex Palou sees the white flag. 1 more to go, and the gap is more than 2 seconds on Colton Herta.
It's so impressive to me that no matter which way the strategies play out, the 10 always find themselves up at the front. Chip Ganassi Racing so good at executing race strategy, and once again, even though it looked like it was all coming unraveled from that pole position start, once again, we are seeing the Palou show.
He started up front. We said it at the beginning of the race that the only way to potentially stop this guy is to jam him up early. Andretti Global did that with Kyle Kirkwood getting to the front. Now Colton Herta rides in second, but still, between both of their star drivers, there is nothing for Alex Palou today at Laguna Seca.
Podium still somewhat in question. Does Grosjean have anything to get up to Alexander Rossi? Meanwhile, out front, Alex Palou. Strategy was in question at one point. Once again, Chip Ganassi Racing made the right call. 1 more corner to go for Alex Palou. And his mastery at Monterey continues. In 4 races, it's been a podium every time. Alex Palou has won the 2nd time at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca and takes the lead in the championship.
Thank you so much, guys.
Congratulations, and it looked like the strategy maybe at one point was not going to work in your favor, then it swung back the other way, and you still had to survive some restarts at the end there. Maybe you had a little bit of a tire disadvantage, so how did you manage all of that and get in victory lane again?
Yeah, it was a chaotic race, man. Didn't do a really good job on the start, and those restarts at the beginning lost what we've been working so hard in qualifying to get that first position. But yeah, they did a tremendous job. Strategy was a bit risky for the position we were in, but we knew we had the pace and we just had to execute. So it was fun, too much intense at the end with those restarts. But yeah, overall an amazing win for the 10 DHL car.
It seems like there is nobody better than the Chip Ganassi Racing Group at making these risky strategy plays work. At this point, how much confidence do you have in Barry and this entire group when that's the option that's kind of on the table, that's the right option?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. At that time, time I doubted a little bit. I didn't know if my radio was working or not, but everything was fine. I'm sorry that he didn't have that trust and that belief on his call during those 10-20 seconds. But yeah, overall, amazing day for Ganassi team.
Up next, it's the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio, Sunday, July 7th. Watch it at 1:30 p.m. on NBC.